Through persistence and continuous commenting, I've been bullied into making a Navarra video for all of you Iberian enjoyers. That's right, if you continuously bully me into making certain videos, I probably will at some point. I also owe you guys a Mushasha guide for that same very reason. So Navarra's starting situation is not the greatest. As you can see, we only have 4,000 units, and we are trapped between three major powers, the Aragonese, the Castilians, and the English / the French after the English lose these lands, I guess. So whatever the case, it is not a great situation. And to emphasize how not great that situation is, our freaking national ideas are so dumb. Like, we have light ship cost, naval force limit plus 20%. Oh god. Without having a coastline, my boys. This country does not have a coastline but has naval ideas. What is happening in this game? However, later on we do have decent ideas like trade efficiency, trade steering, idea cost reduction, production efficiency, and global settler increase. So I guess it's a potentially good colonial nation from certain perspectives. But before we get to the colonies, we gotta make sure that we survive first off in the Iberian lands. And I think there's also an achievement for Navarra. Yes, there is. It's a bask in glory. We need to have all of the provinces in Iberia. So if you guys want me to also get that achievement, let me know in the comments. If we get 10,000 likes, we'll do a second part for this video where we get that particular achievement. Because this is, of course, an Iron Man game. There you go. There's no way of me using console commands. And I'm, of course, making the save available to all my patrons and channel members. Link in the description if you'd like to become one or the other. So, clearly, the first thing we'll be doing is going to be our estate. We're giving out the +1 mana privilege for all three of the estates first off. The patronage of the arts for the extra prestige. And the supremacy over the crown to make sure we get over 50% loyalty equilibrium for our estates. We're also going to be summoning the diet and going for whichever agenda best suits us. Get a province with the port. Get a claim on Vizcaya. Okay. That is actually super useful, and we're also going to be seizing crownlands afterwards, of course. And guys, Navarra has its own mission tree, and I was actually surprised to see how amazing this mission tree is. I mean, it is not massive, but it is super freaking powerful. Look at this, boys. So after we reclaim the coastline, we get a core on La Bourde, which is not bad, since this is a 10 development province. Then we get permanent claims on Bordeaux and Gascony, which is the south tip of the French area, and then we get a PU restoration on France, so we can get a union over what's left of France, as well as after we get that union, we get some mana points, and then we also can get claims on the Munster area. Like, out of all the places, claims on the Germanic area is super weird for me. North Sea whaling gives us more claims on the North Atlantic as well as on Argentina. Then we get the Terra Nova event that's actually insanely super cool, and I'm gonna show you that if you guys hit that like button and we get the second part, because in the second part we're gonna go colonial as well. And then eventually you get Gran Baia trade that offers global trade for the rest of the game plus 10%. But that's not all, boys. That is not all. If we get the Aragonese area, which is these 4 provinces, we get permanent claims on the entirety of the Iberian region. So that's gonna make getting that Iberian achievement a lot easier. And then we also get until the end of the game 0.25 army tradition, which is quite significant as this is a flat bonus. So albeit starting off as a small insignificant nation, Navarra does have a ton of flavor, and that's also one of the reasons why I chose to make this video, because I think we're gonna have a ton of fun together. So how are we gonna deal with our situation here? Well, there's 3 actual outcomes and 3 ways you can be winning as this nation, let's say. First outcome, you just mark up, you get maximum amount of mercenaries, and you attack Aragon. You take their provinces here in the Aragonese area, so you get the permanent claims on the entirety of the Iberian region. And you will be able to 1v1 Aragon, but this honestly is a version where you need to be a really experienced player to pull it off. If you're a newer player, you will never pull it off. It's really difficult, and you have to really min-max the schnaps out of it. So that leads me to second option. Second option, you become a PU. That means you become a subject of either Aragon or Castile, and this happens by default from the start because you start with Juan II de Trastamara, which is the same heir of Aragon. So when the leader of Aragon dies and the heir leads the country, which normally happens within the first 5 years, you become a junior member of Aragon, which is super significant because once you are a junior member, every single one of the Aragonese rivals, with a little bit of persuasion, will help you out. Well, probably not the Ottomans, but sometimes they rival the French, and if they do rival the French, then France will help you get your independence, and in that independence war, you can get the 4 provinces. Alternatively, you can become a junior partner of the Castilians, since they also have the Trastamara family. You just got to get a royal marriage with them, and if that happens, you can just get the Aragonese or the French or somebody else that's a rival of Castile to help you in your independence war. Now, there's also the third option, and this is probably my personal favorite option because it's basically the middle ground. You don't need to be a super experienced player to pull this off, and it is a little bit RNG as well, so keep that in mind. You might have to restart the game sometimes, or you might have to Alt F4 crash it whenever you need to get a better outcome. It is essentially to ally one of the 2 nations here from the start. Because both nations start with 15% extra relations because of the same dynasty, you almost always will be able to ally one or the other nation, as they also have a protective attitude towards you. So they essentially want to diplo-vassalize you, that's why. And we can use this to our advantage. Hear me out why. We're gonna go to the Castilian screen, show diplomatic feedback, and this is gonna show us what provinces they have an interest in. So if I was to ally Castile now, I could potentially promise them land and attack the Aragonese with the Castilians, and in that war, don't offer anything to the Castilians. Take everything for myself, and I grow massive with the help of the Castilian army in the process. Same thing happens with the Aragonese. The Aragonese are even more inclined to attacking the Castilians and getting their provinces. As you can see here, they have a vital interest, not a strategic interest, in eating up the Castilian lands. Now, also take note that the Iberian wedding will likely trigger within the first 10 to 15 years. So you have roughly around 15 years to kill both of these nations before they merge into one bigger nation, and you're screwed for life, my boy. That's also why, aside from these 2 nations as our initial allies, we need to start improving and getting relations with other nations around, like France, Milan, Papal States, and so on. So after the first war, we have allies that we can rely on for the second war against whichever nation we ally and break the alliance with after. So I've allied the Castilians because I feel like Castile is the better option, even though I got the claim against Castile here, which means I could declare on them from the 11th of December. It's still not wise enough because I really need the lands in Aragon, and I can wait until I get my claim on the Aragonese lands, I guess. Not to mention, the Aragonese are more inclined to getting into wars in the Italian parts, which means they might not join my war against the Castilians, whilst the Castilians are almost a guarantee that they will. Hey, look at that. The Castilians even sent us 25 ducats because they really want to diplo-vassalize us, don't they? So whilst I'm waiting to get that claim on the Aragonese, I've built a few extra units, and I'm also going to be recruiting the Free Company. Even though I go over my land force limit, I need this extra unit here so I can actually fight against the Aragonese. Even though the Castilians have a pretty decent army, Aragon just allied Savoy, and Savoy is not that easy to handle either. So we're gonna need to work together with the Castilians in this war. Also take note, you're not gonna be able to get advisors at the start, but I do recommend that you focus on your military, and you also get a morale of armies or discipline advisor if you have one available. That will help you out with the war. Just take note that your economy is absolute dog shit, so don't get any advisors, at least until you're at war with the Aragonese and you have a morale of armies or discipline advisor, or just don't get any at all until after the war. And especially do not get the burgher loans, because that's literally just a waste of your burgher loans, since it's going to be 3 ducat loans. Alright boys, we got 20 spy networks, so we can get a claim. I'm going to go for the Pyrenees, because even though it's a little bit harder to take since it is a mountain fort, once I do take it, it's going to be harder for the enemy to take it back, of course. Wait for 1 day so we get our claim, and now we can attack with the Castilians helping us out. Promise them land, of course, and honestly, it's a big moment right now. Let's assign objectives to the Castilians, make sure that they start sieging down Aragon as well. And I'm not going to attack in the Pyrenees just yet because the Castilian army is quite far. I want to wait until the Castilians get a little bit closer, maybe even attached to my army. Otherwise, the superior Aragonese army is going to wipe me out in this mountain province if I attack right now. And in my case, because I don't have a morale of armies or discipline advisor. Obviously, I'm not going to be getting one, so I'm just going to have to be extra careful fighting my battles against the Aragonese. So apparently the king of Aragon has passed away, and that means that we get two options now. We can either choose to get a union over Aragon, and we can enforce this union later on, or we can become a junior partner of the Aragonese. Obviously, if you want to go for the independent support version that I talked about earlier, you go for the second option. I am going to go for the first option, and I'm not enforcing my union now, obviously, because I didn't declare the war for the enforcing of union. Nor do I recommend that you wait until this event and then declare after, because it's random. You don't know when it's going to happen, the event, because it happens when the leader of Aragon dies. And second off, you also don't want to get the union over Aragon just yet. First, you want to get the lands directly owned, so you have a little bit of power base. Otherwise, it's going to be impossible to keep that personal union in control. Hey, look at that. We got the Neapolitan succession, which means that Naples is independent, but it does mean that there's still an hour war. However, we can separately piece them out now because they are an independent nation. We just got to wait a little bit until they decide they want to piece us out. One thing I have to say, though, is that Aragon will definitely attack your capital a lot. And if that happens, remember that they get -2 dice roll since they are the attacker, and with smaller armies you can actually keep them at bay and even win those battles, which is going to give you the war score that you need to win the war eventually. Oh, look at that, boys. We got our very own Enrique. Clearly the Enrique factories of Iberia are definitely working at full strength since everybody's named Enrique for some reason here. And look at this, boys. Yet again the AI is having a stroke. They're going from one province to another continuously. Yep, they're not doing anything. Castile is literally just sitting in my capital and pretending it's the no-brain AI. Also, they cucked me massively because they occupied Zaragoza, which I need to get that mission enacted. So I don't know how this is going to happen. I'm going to try and at least let the Aragonese unsiege Zaragoza, maybe. Let's see. Fingers crossed that that's going to help out. I've basically occupied most of the Aragonese lands in Iberia, but I still need more war score. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send my army and try and piece out Savoy by occupying some of their provinces that I can occupy. I just need a white piece. I don't need to take anything from them. I've never been this happy for Monferrato ever to do something in the game, but thank you very much, Monferrato. You've actually saved me massively right now. I think it's okay that my free company got stack wiped in the fort of Cuneo, considering that that gave us the time to get the capital of Chambéry, which also means we should be able to piece him out. There you go, boys. 56-36, and that is double whammy because it's also the Savoyan army that's sieging down the capital of Valencia. So by piecing out Savoy, they lose all the progress here, which means I get a massive boost to the war score. So let's piece them out. I'm gonna go for the money. Actually, can I go for the war reps? That might be a little bit of more help. Yep, and as well as money. So I'm only getting 14 ducats from this, but it's fine. 14 ducats is a massive amount. I also have a ton of loans. I don't know how many, a lot, but considering I get 3 ducats per loan, I can take up to 206 loans. It's normal, but it also means that after we piece out, we need money. Otherwise, we're gonna go bankrupt, sadly. And now that these guys are out, we could even technically piece out the Aragonese, can we? Yes, I think we can actually. Let's see, we got enough war score to get all 3 provinces, 4 provinces. Yes, we do. 62.51, and I'd be able to get 32 ducats as well. Okay, gotta give this a really good thought now, because I kind of want to take more provinces than just that. I need at least 7 provinces to survive and grow afterwards. So I'm gonna continue this war. I'm gonna need to piece out Aragon as well. I mean, Naples as well. So that means I'm gonna have to go into the south here in that case. Also, Aragon was trying to continue the siege, and my boy Castile over here just decided, no, Aragon, this is not your province anymore. It belongs to the alliance of the triple quadruple de boobadoo. That's what I'm calling the alliance with me and Castile essentially right now. And it looks like we can do a mission as well. High income. What? How come? Oh, I think it's because of the war reparations, isn't it? Oh, dude, that is so pathetic because I'm getting 2.54 income, which is a lot considering that I have only 7 development. Oh god, this is so sad. The Castilians are definitely not giving up until they completely stack wipe the entirety of Aragon's army though. And that's really good for me. I'm also building another unit here so I can try and siege down Zaragoza. I forgot about Zaragoza, honestly, and now Castile's gonna siege it back again. And again, I'm not gonna be able to take it for myself unless I wait wait for a really long time until Castile pieces out by themselves, which actually is not such a bad idea. But I think the best... Did I just have a battle in Arezzo that I didn't even pay attention to? Wow, okay. Fair enough. Let's hope that we can also get Zaragoza. Nope. Looks like they're sending some units to Zaragoza. Come on, really, Castile? Oh, this is so freaking annoying right now. I also forgot to mention another thing that made the Savoyans peace out a lot faster, and what's gonna make the Neapolitans peace out faster, is the fact that I'm actually scorch earthing every single one of their provinces. So that's giving out devastation in their lands from scorch earthing those lands, and with that devastation, it's gonna make them get war exhaustion faster, and because of that war exhaustion, it's gonna also make them peace out faster. So it's like a snowballing effect. It does mean though that I'm wasting 5 military mana per province that I'm scorching, so keep that in mind as well. And sadly they did get Zaragoza again, so it's not looking great. Naples is attacking me in the province of Naples, and they will easily win, but because I got 40 on the positive compared to 30 on the negative, because I occupied the other two provinces here beforehand, and because of that war exhaustion that is starting to tick up, I can even take some money from them, or not. I apparently cannot even take one. Really? Not even a little bit? Alright, because I have less than 10% war score. Okay, well, white piece it is. There you go, Naples. Get the schnapps out of here. At least we have saints performing miracles. We got that going for us though, right? Castile's also doing the naval landing for me. Thank you so much, Castile. Very kind of you for sure. Now, I could have easily avoided this problem if I just gave out, when it comes to my diplomatic feedback, these provinces as vital interest before I started the war. I honestly forgot about it. In your run, don't forget to make these vital interests like I made Barcelona here. If they were vital interest, they would have been transferred to me in the war, even though they captured it. I've decided to strap in and wait until the Castilians peace out Aragon, and because of that, it's gonna take a while, and once they peace out, Aragon's gonna jump me, so I'm gonna have to piece them out myself really fast. The big problem I have is my economy, which is absolute trash. I have 7 development, but here's the big deal. I'm actually making 1.98 ducats. How is that, you ask? Well, it's because of all of the spoils of war that I get from the various cities here and the war reparations from Savoy. I've also mothballed the forts in the Pyrenees and Roussillon, so I'm not paying for my forts. And I've also mothballed my armies here. I'm not paying for the armies as well. So I'm only paying for the being over the force limit a little bit and the base default payment for them. After 1 year of getting this income, I can pay off those 3 ducat loans, which means I will not be going bankrupt anymore after the war is over. Well, after I peace out anyway. But it does mean that I'm going to be getting a lot of war exhaustion. Right now, I'm getting a flat 0.07 per month, so I'm just going to use my Diplo points to lower the war exhaustion as much as I possibly can, which means probably for a few more years. I'm also developing my main province here a little bit, since it is an iron province, which is quite high value. So by developing this to 7 production, my loans are now 6 ducat loans instead of 3 ducat loans, and I'm getting a little bit more money as well, 2.56 ducats, which is a massive difference now. So I can pay off these 53 loans that I have. Take note, they're only 159 altogether, the loans, so they're not that much. But if I was to peace out and I don't have that 159 to instantly pay it off, I would go bankrupt because it would exceed the amount of loans that I would be able to get after I peace out, which is going to be around 30 loans maximum and not 166, which is what I have right now. It's just basically how the game works, sadly. Small one province miners can have a huge amount of small loans, whilst normal nations can have bigger loans but smaller amount of loans. So roughly 30, let's say, for what size I will have after the peace deal. Well, if it is not the Castilians peacing out after only 6 years of me wasting my time, they did eventually peace out, and they took some provinces. I didn't pay attention what they actually took. They took Alicante and what else? That's it? Alright, well, whatever. Now I have to pay for my army and I have to do my own peace deal. What can I take right now? I would be able to take, I think, exactly what I want. I need to take their capital back, though. 94,135. Yep, I gotta take their capital back. I don't even have enough troops to take the capital, so I'm actually gonna have to recruit some more units now. Because now there's 7 ducat loans since I've developed a little bit more. It's a lot better, and we can hire the free company once more. Whoa, hold on a second here. Castile, did you just release Sardinia? Oh my god, that is actually not great for me. That is not great. Well, no, it does present a very unique opportunity. I might be able to expand in here eventually, so not as bad as it seems overall. And the best part is that Aragon's army is trapped here. I'm not even sure they have the ships anymore to transport them. Nope, they have 4 ships, and I believe they're not transports, so I don't need to worry about their army at all. Biggest pepega moment, though, is the fact that I did wait for 6 freaking years until Castile pieced out. Really massively cucked me that point. Jesus, mother of God, only took us 500 days to take Valencia, boyos. So on the peace deal, I'm gonna go for this exact land over here, and I'm gonna take a little bit of money as well. 64 ducats apparently for 3 war score. That is not bad at all. I'm getting a lot of aggressive expansion, but most of this is actually with Aragon and a few nations adjacent to Aragon instead of everybody else around the world. And we went from 1 province to having 25% of the Iberian Peninsula already by 1456. But like I said before, unless we're able to pay our loans, we're gonna go bankrupt because we are exceeding the amount of loans that we can take. So right now we have 36 loans that we can have a maximum of 20 loans. So we have to pay off at least 16 of these loans. Let's pray that we actually have enough money to pay 16. That means I'm ignoring the 8 ducat loans and I'm only paying back the 3 ducat loans. Otherwise, I would not be able to pay back 16 loans. There you go. I was able to pay most of those off. I still have around 18 loans, but now every single loan is 54 ducats. So I can take 1 loan and I pay off all the other 17 loans. Well, most of the other 17 loans that I have with that one 54 ducat loan. That's exactly how you do it. Make sure you pay off the older, smaller loans whenever you do this, so you can make way for newer loans. There you go, 7 loans left. Now we're gonna take the burger loans as well, which is 1% interest loans, and with that we pay off every single debt that we have. We just keep the 1% debt, and essentially we only have to pay 0.22 ducats in interest, and we went from a massively poor country to an actually decent country with a stable economy. And after we core all of this schnappeldoop up here, by the way, let's concentratio as well, and Dariago. After we core all of this stuff up, we're gonna be ridiculously rich, and we're gonna have everything we need to push into the rest of the Iberian lands. Take note, I've got 16 war exhaustion. Oh my freaking god, that is not great at all, and I don't have the diplo points. I'm also tech 3, so this strat comes with its debuffs, namely that it's going to take you a few years to get back on your proper feet. But hey, now we can do the Aragonese inheritance, so we got permanent claims on all of Iberia. Oh, snaps, I just realized I cored that without getting the permanent claims. So let me cancel these up, and then now I can core it up again. Having those permanent claims means it's 25% cheaper to core up these provinces. And I'm going to get my rivals. Of course, Aragon's going to be my main rival here. You also probably noticed I did not core up Castello over here because I'm going to be releasing Valencia, and I'm gonna feed Valencia back all of its cores on Aragon as well as Castile after. Apparently, I can also get an alliance with the Grand Nation of Saluzzo. Everybody fears Saluzzo, of course, and I'm gonna get more alliances eventually after I get a stable economy going. Gonna trade some of my favorites for ducats from the Castilians. Oh no! Juan! Why haveth thou diedeth? I think it's consort ruling the country is actually better since we have more mana points now. I tried getting an alliance with France, but I couldn't because they allied Aragon, those bastards. But because they allied Aragon, I was able to get an alliance with Burgundy because Burgundy also rivaled Aragon, so we have common interests and common rivals essentially. It essentially means I'm gonna use Burgundy. If they don't die, oh god, they already have Charles. Okay, this might not work out. But if they don't die, I'm gonna use Burgundy in my future war against the French to take the south part of France, so I can get my restoration of union against the French eventually. And I can also start getting more alliances now since I've cored up these lands. Make sure that you also lower the autonomy in these provinces so you get the maximum amount of income and manpower out of them after you've made them full cores. And we can also release Valencia now, so we have them as our little pet over here. The pet that shall be fed quite a few provinces eventually. Oh my god, last jousting tournament. Now, this would have been so much of help in that first war against the Aragonese, dude. Holy mother of god, Morocco's reduced to just 4 provinces? What? Looks like they had a problem with their vassals here, which became slightly disloyal, let's say, and Castile definitely took advantage of that. It's not great for me because that means Castile's stronger now than it was before. So I might be able at some point to find the Moroccans as a potential ally against the Castilians. Also interesting to see that Granada managed to get 1 province from Tlemcen. Few years have passed and we definitely made the country a lot better than it was before. We've got a stable economy, we managed to pay off some of our loans, but we still have a few. Killed off all the rebels, and the best part is that we now have 0 war exhaustion, and we also managed to get a military tech 5, so we are definitely ready for the next phase of this campaign, which we'll do once we get 10,000 likes. And guys, if you enjoy the content, consider subscribing, would really help me out more than you can imagine. And until the next time, check out this amazing Aztecs run. And I want to give a massive thank you to all of my patrons, channel members, and Twitch subscribers. I would not be able to do this without all your support.